Hey guys, the final two parts of 9.2. We are going to attempt the SCOURGE path of 9.2.1 starting with Viv Vision. Now the nodes are going to be auto block with SCOURGE charges, your buff ability accuracy down with SCOURGE charges, and proliferate to pause the SCOURGE charges with intercept, and to clarify and eradicate the charges you can use in SP3. And there's also pumping iron. So the defender will gain SCOURGE charge every 2 seconds, increase in chance to auto-block by 3% by every SCOURGE charge, and these charges will also reduce your buff gain ability accuracy down by 5% for each active charge. There is an annoying red skull at the end of the path, so please ensure to bring a counter for him, and pumping iron makes buff heavy champions a great counter for this path. Heavy attack favored champions will also have an advantage here. A striker will not be needed, and I would suggest you to boost well for a faster completion, and the top options for this path will be Hyperion, Angela and Gladiator because they have buffs and they have easy access to heavy knockdowns. The boss island is Kate Bishop, Toad and Rintrah. Stick till end of the video for the boss fight strategies and other counter options. The first fight is going to be against a Viv Vision. She is going to gain a SCOURGE charge every 2 seconds. Now every charge will give her a 3% auto block chance and also reduce your buff gain ability accuracy by 5%. Now the path requires you to have 3 or more buffs to inflict any damage on the defender with the pumping iron node. So, the more SCOURGE charges on you, the less likely you are to gain any buffs because of the SCOURGE charges. Now, ideally, you will need champions that gain a lot of buffs and their playstyle revolves around a heavy attack. So, heavy attack cosmics like Hyperion, Gladiator are preferred as they will remove 3 charges every time you knock down the opponent with a heavy attack. Intercepts and special attacks, they will pause the SCOURGE charge gain by 4 seconds. And also, if you get too many SCOURGE charges on the opponent, you can use a SP3, and that will eradicate all the charges and deal a burst damage for every charge removed. So fight number 2 is against a Sauron, and I am using a Colossus. I am using him with the synergy of Omega Red. So what I'm trying to do here is to use heavy attacks only, so I can keep those charges below 3. Because every time I knock down the defender with a heavy attack, I'm going to reduce 3 charges. So there we are down to 0 and slowly build up to my SP2 and then do some really big damage with that SP2. But I have to take care about unblockable. Sauron is a bit annoying with that. So just going back in, just going to wait out for a parry. Let him throw a special attack 1, make that space, and parry again into a heavy with that fury, a big SP2, and Sauron is down to 47%, but those regions are going to be annoying, but that's okay. Just take care about the unblockable and you should be good. You can use other champions as well. I'm just using different champions to show that it's possible with different class champions also. You can also bring in a really good tech champion that has a lot of buffs, so Iron Man can work here. You can also bring in Red Skull, he works also. Viv Vision will be great because she has so many buffs. As long as you have more than 3 buffs, you are able to take down the opponent, and I would suggest you have 2 ways to deal with this path defenders. One is either you keep using a heavy attack to keep those SCOURGE charges under control below 4, or you let the SCOURGE charges build up and you use parry, medium, light, medium, and use an SP3 at the end of it and eradicate all charges for like a big damage. Now this third fight number 4 is going to be super quick. I'm going to use Hyperion against a Valkyrie, and I am just using my heavy attacks to make sure that I get those charges down. I'm not auto blocked, and then I'm going to trigger my SP2 for the big damage. So Hyperion is super fast for this path because it takes down so much health in one SP2, so I made a mistake there. That wasn't the right spacing, but that's okay. Parry and heavy is the way to go. With a big SP2, boom, look at that damage. She's stunned. I'm going to use 2 heavy attacks again. That's going to remove the SCOURGE charges to 0. no auto block. Now I'm gonna throw a big SP2, and boom, before we know it, she's down to 9%, and there she goes. So Hyperion is one of the best options along with Gladiator for this path. Just spam your heavy attacks, and you are able to keep the auto block charges down. And even if they try to auto block you, if you just use your heavy attacks, you are not going to be auto block, and you're going to do quite a bit of damage. So once again, I am using a Hyperion here against Nebula. Made a mistake there. I was going for an SP2, but that's okay. I'm just going to use my heavy attack and use an SP3. I'll get those charges, and that will increase my damage. So that is going to help me out again. So with all of those Furies and 3 Hyperion charges, here I am just building up my SP2 again and just evading the last hit of the SP1 and using a heavy attack, keeping the charges down. And a big SP2, 53,000, 39,000 Hyperion damage is just nuts. My Hyperion is a rank 3, so if you don't have him, you can use other champions as well. But my favorite for this path is champions like Gladiator or Hyperion, whose whole kit revolves around their heavy, so they can do quite a bit of damage very quick. You can also use auto block counters like Scream, Angela, champions with Undermine. All of them will work, but I kind of like these champions more. Now here is another example, Venom. He works too, but he will take a lot more time because he's very dependent on all of his debuffs, and you need to have at least 3 buffs on you to deal any kind of damage. So you have to kind of wait in the beginning to get those buffs before you can start attacking. Made a mistake there, got hit by an SP2, but that's okay. I am giving him a lot of Scourge charges. If I spam heavy, I don't do enough damage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to build up to an SP3 here, and I'm going to use my SP3. So I'm going to eradicate all of those charges and deal a burst damage. So 7 charges are there on Deadpool. I have an SP3 ready. He auto blocks, I use my SP3. So I want you to notice the Scourge charges. They are 0 now, and look at that burst damage. He went from 75% directly to 50% health, and all the charges are removed, and we can rinse and repeat that. So if you don't have a good champion that can throw a heavy attack, you can just build up to your SP3. You can use parry, medium, light, medium hits only, because within the stun he will not auto block you. You can keep using that and build up to an SP3. The SP3 will eradicate all the Scourge charges, and that will help you deal a burst damage with the eradicate node. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Parry, medium, light, medium. During the stun, he does not auto block. So getting to an SP3, I'm going to use that up. And very quickly, you can notice that Deadpool X just dies of the burst damage of the 7 eradicate charges. Moving on to the last fight, that is going to be Red Skull. I'm going to use my trusty SIG 200 Gladiator. So slowly I'm just going to hit in the block and build up my confidence. Now I do make quite a bit of mistakes here. I get hit by the SP1 with the bad spacing, but that's okay. Right there, losing some of the charges, but because Gladiator is heavy attack based, I can just spam my heavy attacks and remove those charges. Every time I'm going to use heavy attack, I'm going to remove 3 charges, and that stops him from kind of auto blocking me with the Scourge charges. So just to recap very quickly the path, you either use champions that have buffs with heavy attack base like Hyperion Gladiator. You can also use Storm, she works well too. But if you don't have a champion that has auto blocks, you can use a champion like Venom or any champion with Odin pre-fights, and keep throwing that parry, medium, light, medium. And once you have an SP3 ready, you can eradicate the charges and deal a burst damage. So I hope that helps. I'm just taking down Red Skull here, finish off his Unstoppable. And there is a lot of auto block. I keep getting clipped by it, but that's okay. The damage is enough to take him down with Gladiator. Now the bosses we are going to attempt is Rintrah. So the first time I did this boss, I did not have a rank 4 void, but now I have one. So the fight becomes much easier for me. So you will need a champion that can take out Rintrah. A science champion will work best It's not really a difficult boss, but he's a very tanky one. The one thing you need to care about is going to be the fight or flight node, because he is going to give unstoppable to you if you're far away from him, but if you're near him, he's going to get unstoppable. So the hard part is to deal with that unstoppable and also with those charges at the same time, because that also give him unstoppable. The easiest way is to bring in champions with slow and let him just throw that specials and you should be good to go. So She-Hulk is a pretty good option here, but any champion, to be honest, with a slow will work. I realized that after I used Void for this fight, the other nodes here are going to be stun immunity, so you have to just be wary about the stun immunity and you should be good for this fight. A lot of people commented on my 9.2.1 easy path video that this is the easy path. I don't really think with the defender diversity and the node complexity this is the easy path, but I am mistaken with the kind of champions I've used in. So make sure you write in the comment section which was your best champion for this path and how did you work it out. So yeah, that will be really helpful for anybody else watching the video. So I always say that the best thing about my videos is the comment section, so chime in guys. And before I go, you can use that unstoppable to kind of intercept Rintrah, so that will give you a fury that will increase your damage. So you can every now and then do an intercept, get some extra damage, and you should be good. I've done this fight with She-Hulk as well, and also Human Torch. Both of them work. It just takes a little bit more time. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and did find it helpful. There's only one video more remaining on 9.2. So thank you for staying along on the journey, and I'll see you on the last video on 9.2.1. Bye.